Installing the precision parabolic damper onto the Kawasaki KX450F. First, we remove the top triple clamp. This bike has an IMS tank. We're going to remove this bracket. You may need to grind a slight angle on the top of the bracket here. On the stock tank, you'll need to do the same thing. You're going to want to file an angle at the top, taking about 3 millimeters off the bottom and a little bit more off the top. Spread the clamp with a screwdriver and start to slide it over the head. You'll need to fish the IMS tank bracket at the same time. Reinstall the center screw, but do not tighten. Install the 2 tank screws. Tighten all 3 tank screws, then torque to spec. Install the 2 6mm screws into the front of the clamp. You'll want to work them back and forth, just snugging them up. Blue Loctite can be used if desired. Ensure that the clamp is down onto the top lip. Now install the pivot dog. You'll probably need to snug up the front 2 bolts in order to get the pivot dog to slide in. Install the 6mm by 30 screw. You can use blue Loctite if desired. Now torque the pivot dog screw to 9 Newton meters. And then work the front 2 screws back and forth, torquing them to 7 Newton meters. You will have to go back and forth several times. Now reinstall the top triple clamp. Torque all the triple clamp bolts to factory spec. Now slide the boot over the pivot dog. The small hole goes down. Now we're going to slide the pin into the pivot dog and then put the damper onto the bars. Install the clamp onto the parabolic damper, but do not tighten the screws. Center up the damper and then snug up the screws. You want to make sure that the damper is rotated down accordingly. Now put the top of the boot onto the bottom of the lever. Now make sure you can hit both steering stops. It's very important not to use your parabolic damper as your steering stop. If you cannot hit one of the stops, you'll need to loosen up the damper and then slide it in the direction of the stop that you cannot hit slightly, ensuring that the damper is rotated down also. If you cannot hit either stop, the damper is not adequately rotated down. rotate the lever down. If you have shock absorbing clamps, you'll need to leave a gap between the lever and the pivot dog. On PHDS, that's about 4 millimeters. On shock and vibe, it's about 6. If you don't have shock absorbing clamps, you can bring the lever to within 1 millimeter of the pivot dog. Now torque the clamp bolts to 5 Newton meters. Now that you've installed your damper, it's time to set your high speed and low speed. To do that, please click on the video link.